Okay, in this video we're going to take a look at an introduction to movement in NXT-G. So there are two blocks in NXT-G that let you control motor movement. So the first one is the move block, and the second one you actually have to go to the complete palette for, so there's complete palette, and that one is the motor block. So although both of these blocks let you control motor movement, there are a few small differences in the settings that make you want to use different blocks for different cases. So let's first take a look at the move block. So in the move block, you can control multiple motors at the same time by just selecting however many of the motors in whatever combination you want. You can like run all A, B, and C together, or you can run just B and C, or you can just do any single motor on its own. It really doesn't matter. So you can do any combination. You can choose the direction that all these motors run at, so you can make them all go forward, backwards, or you can stop them. You can also do some steering, so you can either make it go left or right, based off your settings here. So you can choose which one's your left motor and then which one's your right motor. So you can also change the power that these motors move at. So you can make it go anywhere from 0 to 100. So, and let's just make it 75 just because that was the preset one. And then you can change the duration. So you have unlimited degrees, rotations, seconds. Let's just set at degrees. So the motor will turn for one full rotation / 360 degrees. Now, after your motor finishes moving for the duration you set, you have a choice. Do you want the motor to brake or coast? Now what that means is if you choose brake, the motor is going to stop as soon as it finishes whatever its job is. And then if you choose coast, that means the motor is going to, it'll be able to run a little bit further. So once it finishes at 360 degrees, it's going to move around another 30 degrees. So that's just a choice that's left up to you. So that's the move block. So now let's move on to the motor block. So for the motor block, you can only select one motor at a time, so you can either do A, B, or C. You can choose the direction that it moves at, forward, backwards, or stop, same as the move block. You can change the power anywhere from 0 to 100, it's all the same. Let's do that. Same thing with the duration, you can make it degrees, rotation, seconds are unlimited. Let's just put it back to degrees. And you notice when I clicked degrees, it opened up a few more options. So we'll talk about those. You still have the same next action, brake, or coast. Now there's a few different things. So you see this control, this weight, and this action settings right here. So this the action setting lets you ramp up the speed or ramp down the speed. So basically, let's say you have a really heavy attachment. You might want to ramp up the speed so that you don't damage your motor while trying to move it too fast. So that's just one thing that you might want to think about. And same thing with ramping down. You can also, when you select this, it gives you a kind of control where if the motor is running slower than it should be at that certain power, then the motor will go faster than 74 power so that it acts as if it was moving at 74 power in standard conditions. And it does the same thing when it's lower. So like let's say you want it to move at 74 power, but it's moving too fast, it's moving at 100 power, then it's going to feed the motor 50 power so that it makes it a little bit more consistent. Now there's one more very interesting setting, this wait setting. So when you have this wait for completion, it'll go the full duration and then it'll move on to the next block. But if I uncheck this wait for completion, what happens is I can do the move, the motor command, I can do that while also doing something else. So you can use this motor block to actually do a little bit of multitasking. You can you can have a lot of blocks running at the same time by using the motor block. Okay, so those are the two different blocks. The common use of these blocks is to use move block for the robot movement in terms of actual drive. That's what the steering is kind of useful for, and to use the motor block for arms or attachments, that kind of stuff. So that's just standard practice. You don't need to do it, but that's just the way most people do, so just letting you know. So that's about it for the introduction to movement, and in later videos I'll show some more specific uses of these two blocks.